G'day Doggies fans, all things Bulldogs. It's the Canterbury-Bankstown Bulldogs Elite Pathways weekly wrap. And this week Eddo's on assignment. He won't be joining us, but there's not too much to talk about. I'm going to talk about a couple of debutants for this season. One will play in flag in Jordan Samrani. Hasn't played in a long time with that ACL injury. A very talented individual we brought across from the Sharks. And expect he'll play in jersey flag for his first game back. He's been training with the top squad for quite a while. And Ethan Quai-Ward, the Wagga boy, that's where I'm from. That's where the Mortimers are from. And he's come from the South Logan Magpies. Couldn't break into that Broncos team. And he's going to play New South Wales Cup in the centres and debut this week, which is really good for him. Was third in average total metres per game for South Logan Magpies. Incidentally, that's the side that played our Pathways feeder club from Toowoomba, the Clydesdales. They played them on the weekend, and it was a really good game. Just they're currently running second and won like 4 or 5 in a row, so they just beat our Toowoomba boys, who continued to go okay. Tino Molino, or Lino Molino, they call him Lino, the big fella from Toowoomba. He's only 5'7", but he's about 110 kilos. Now, it was falsely reported that he had a top 30 spot for next year. He's coming down, and he'll go down to Sydney in the pre-season and be there for about 6 weeks to try and force his way into a contract. So good on him. The pathways are in operation. He scored a try off a kick, which was good, but went off injured, which wasn't so good. Very, very powerful runner. Probably got to do a lot more work on his fitness and his defence. But he does hit really, really bloody hard. When he hits them, he hits hard. So he's good in that department. But yeah, he just probably got to build on that extra part to make him an NRL player. But we'll see. It was good to see that on Channel 9. And there was also, the other game was the Hastings Deering, which is like the jersey flag equivalent in Queensland that Eddo's explained a few times. And then you've got Ron Massey Cup and the Sydney Shield. They both went down on the weekend as well. So you'll see the results and everything up there, the points tables. Plus there'll be all the teams and lineups for this week's games. Obviously no NRL jersey flag or New South Wales Cup last week, so it was a quick week. And we'll see, so you'll see the lineups there for the Bulldogs. They play the Roosters, obviously. It's going to be a big game. Jersey flags top of the table, the Roosters. So that's a top of the table clash with the Dogs. And then you've got 2 teams in Bulldogs and Roosters that must win. The loser, it could be bye-byes for their season, to be honest. If we must win this game against the Roosters, and we catch them at a pretty good time. I expect they're going to be refreshed, as we should be. And Tavita Pangai Jr. said he will be playing now after his loss for New South Wales yesterday. Good first 20 from Tavita. Couple of errors in the second stance, which he'll regret. But all a good learning experience for him. And hopefully he'll bring that back to the NRL and make the Roosters suffer because of it. So I'd say Tedesco will back up for the Roosters in that match, but not too sure, but I'd say he will. He ran for like 200 metres, but a lot of criticism about Tedesco's game for the Blues, and I think it's warranted, to be honest. But he won't be dropped, no matter what anyone says. He will decide when he finishes playing for New South Wales. He's one of those players who's potentially earned that right. Very good player. I just think he doesn't gel that well with the New South Wales in an origin sort of scenario. I just don't think for Australia he seems to go really, really well. Interesting. But anyway, it's been a short week. Looking forward to it. Jordan Samrani will play for jersey flag, which is very, very important. And we'll see whether he's on a development contract. We'll see whether he can get a contract for 24. I think he's got like a long-term one. Eddo's going to talk a lot about the top 30 in coming weeks for next year, and that'll be very interesting to hear about that. And some of those players on development contracts may like go into the top 30 next year or the year after. It just all depends what the conditions are in their contracts, because they can generally have a lot of conditions there. And you see some of those, like I think Matai was supposed to be in the top 30 next year, but he's gone to the West Tigers, Iverson Matai, so anything can happen. But really looking forward to the action this weekend. Must win for the Bulldogs against the Roosters. Expecting a really, really big game of footy from the Dogs, and hopefully that will send us on the edge of the top 8 if we can get the win. It's time that these boys, this is when we started to produce last year. This is about that time where we started to get some better performances on the board. And I think we're better poised to do that this year, having had the 5 wins as opposed to the 2 wins at this part of the season last year. So round 13, big chance for our boys to really get ourselves in the hunt for the finals, because it's going to be imperative, because it doesn't get any easier after we play the Roosters or the I think we're going to have to play Souths again, and the Eels and the Sharks again. So all those games are coming up, so it doesn't get any easier for us. I think we've got the game against Newcastle, which will be after the bye. And I think that's the only bye we have where the opposition isn't fresh. So yeah, it's weird how they've done the byes. Hasn't done us much favours, but there's a couple of teams worse off than us as well. Anyway, guys, that's the weekly wrap. I hope you learn a couple of little things. All the results and everything's been in the background for you to see, and I'm looking forward to the Ethan Ward's debut, and also Jordan Samrani in under 21. So, all right, guys, take care, and we'll speak to you next week. Go the Doggies.